finally getting back to it today. We're on Revontuli Coast. There are, I think, 3 species left to go. I'm no longer counting Eurasian Wigeon because I'm gonna attempt to get that one on Vurhonga. So both species of geese and raccoon dogs should be it, if I'm remembering right. What's going on, bottom boy? I forget how good the beginning slideshow is sometimes. I want to get, like, more good screenshots. I used to, maybe I'll get back to it. I used to make such a big deal of, like, when finding a cool rare or something, get close, get a good screenshot, stuff like that, and I no longer do it. And some of those, like, I used to have the melanistic elk, I don't know, that may be still in the slideshow. Just cool stuff like that I'd like to enhance it with a little bit, so maybe we can start doing that this year. New Year's resolution part 2, take screenshots of rares. There's a good question to get us started, Henry. Happy or sad about the Steelers not making the playoffs? I mean, you always want your team to get in, right? But I think this is going to sound wild, but the season as a whole was a success. They ended with a winning record, with a rookie quarterback, absolute dysfunction at the OC position at least for half the year. And I think they kind of learned how to win close games, which is probably important for Kenny's development. So probably they'd have just gotten smoked by the Bills anyway, so I think it's all good. And hopefully next year they'll be able to build on that. Adam, thank you for the super chat. Watching this at work while on a crane. Hope you get a big one. Thank you, man. Hope you have your shift go by a little more quickly. Shadow is pushing on my mouse, so that was a little difficult. I know, Nate. And to be honest, if Tua comes back, the Dolphins will give the Bills a better game. Which, here's kind of the way that I look at NFL football anymore. Like, in the... Okay, thanks, game. In the last couple of years, if I can watch my team, the Steelers, for 18 weeks, and they're in playoff contention, so basically I get a whole regular season of meaningful football, I don't mind that much if they get in or not. And then I just enjoy watching playoff football, regardless of who's in. And I think, again, if Tua's back, or even maybe if Teddy's playing, it'll be a better game than Steelers-Bills would have been. How about the Cowboys? What? Like, you hope that it's just looking through their opponent to the next week, because that was not good. Denver got one more win. What are they in the season with? 5, 6? Russ has actually looked okay lately, so maybe he's figured it out. They're going to smoke Brady, I hope. Yeah. Who would have thought, the entire nation's Cowboys fans? Mike Tomlin's 16-season winning record streak continues. Yet, you know, I'm sure you see it as well on social media. Many Steeler fans do not think that's funny. A lot of Steeler fans are like, you know, the standard used to be Super Bowls and playoffs, and now it's just mediocrity. Which, you know, I guess if you're only rooting for that, that's the case. But Tomlin has like a .634 career winning percentage or something. 5-12 for Denver, considering where they were. That's actually kind of impressive. I think the Texans might be half decent next year because they're probably going to get Bryce Young. So I just saw, I think it was either a YouTube video or a tweet from Pro Football Talk. I think it was a YouTube video that essentially said good luck to the Texans on finding a viable head coach next year. Kind of a good point. What was the guy's name last year? It was like Sully or something. And then this year with Lovie Smith, just one and done's fire. Like, who's going to want to take that job? That's the problem. I do think they're assembling some talent. They played tough for Lovie Smith. I don't get why they fired him. Why don't you use the dog? This dog? They should have kept Lovie 100%. It's the Dan Campbell in the Lions type of thing. Like, they were competitive in almost every game. It's bizarre to me. You think Rodgers is going to retire? That made me sad watching him walk off the field. Not because, like, I really care whether or not they win games with them or not, but it just feels like, in a lot of ways, the end of an era. I've talked about this before. Maybe 10 years ago. Probably a time that the Patriots knocked the Steelers either out of the playoffs, or I kind of think what it was the year, maybe 2015? The Jesse James play? Anyway, somewhere in that time period, I thought, like, okay, Brady is going to retire here in a couple years, and the Steelers are just going to own the AFC. Yeah. Brady might be the only quarterback left from that entire era if Rodgers is going to retire. I hope he doesn't. I enjoy watching him play, but both of them, Brady and Rodgers, you can just kind of see age has caught up with them a little bit. They can't quite spin it like they used to, which sucks, but, you know, you still like to watch those guys play. Does the playoffs change your Super Bowl predictions? Nah, I'm going to keep it. I looked it up. It was in March. I predicted Bills, Niners, and Bills to win. And, frankly, with everything the Bills have gone through, they're either just going to get, you know, smoked by, like, KC or something in the championship, or they're going to win it all. I don't think there's any middle there. What's up, Graham? Imagine a stream without football talk, and the regular season's a holiday. We should all be off today. Speaking of that, national championship tonight, I'm actually going to watch college football. Imagine that. Tips for a great one, Bear? Boy, I wish I could help you. I can't even find my own. Especially with Bears drinking at night now. I do think you have to go Silver Ridge Peaks. As much as I was hopeful that New England would be better than SRP for bear grinding, I just don't think it is. And it's really just a matter of, you know, finding bear zones, shooting as many as you can, rinse, repeat, and hoping for the best. With the moose grind, wow, it's a lot of deer. With the moose grind still ongoing and stuff, I'm concerned about when we may or may not actually get a great one bear, but yeah, there's no secret recipe or anything. It's just shooting a bunch of bears and hoping for the best. No, that's a good question too, Graham. Is Way the Hunter still relevant? I think it is. One of my problems is, like, if I want to make decent Way the Hunter content, I have to play, call it off camera to simplify that. And just, like, right now, my off-camera play has been grinding moose, or even still, like, I've been playing a decent bit of farming sim, so I just haven't had the time to get into it. I think its relevancy has probably gone down a bit as of late. Oh. We have one of these, so I'm just gonna shoot it with the 22. Don't shoot the bridge. Can you come back? Cool. Might have a diamond already. One we already had, but we'll take those. Is Damar Hamlin healthy enough for me to start flexing my fantasy win yet? I think it's officially allowed. He seems to be good. Big mail. Got a diamond reindeer? Nice. I was just, little spoiler for tomorrow's video, I recorded a moose run. And, again, spoilers. Well, I won't tell you what happened, but you can guess. I was talking about how moose are, to me, they feel like they're getting into that category of reindeer for how often they troll. So you can, as I said, make a guess as to what happened, but it's nice when they make it. Alright, level 3 teal is a diamond, 354. I don't remember the score of the last. Ooh, that's barely a diamond. So probably the smaller of the two, which is honestly better considering we shot it with the 22, but cool. Starting our return to Revontuli coast off right. What was that, our second kill? Third kill? Third kill, I think. Not too bad, so we'll have to find a spot for that in the lodge as well. When we did the Trophy Lodge tour, discovered a number of, like, cinnamon teal and stuff we can get out of there, so that'll do. And we should be into raccoon dog territory, which gonna be 243 handgun today, but that should work. What map? I don't even think I have any mods installed. You're talking about, I assume you don't mean farming like Great One Grinding, you mean like farming sim? Not Ravenport. There's a sign on it. Is it Goldcrest Valley or something? There's a sign on it that's like Ravenport City or Road. It's a reference back to Ravenport in a previous farming sim game. Want some pretty duck mounts in real life? Same, man. To be fair, it had a little bit, I think, to do with getting the buck in 2021, but at some stage, I just got to looking at, like, all the game species that are around here, and I started wanting to get things like that, like cool-looking ducks and all that sort of thing, but I also don't want to turn the house into a museum, so trying to find the balance of what I want to actually pursue and whatnot. This is the stream for the Great One Mies. It could happen. I don't know, like, have we shot anything on this map? I guess we'd have to hope for an initial spawn, but suppose that could be a thing. Why does your binoculars show distance and how can I activate that? So these are a particular pair of binoculars. This is, if I can find the right thing, the Apex View 7x42. I think you unlocked them at level 29 or somewhere in there. They're not the starting binoculars, it's a completely separate item. There's a raccoon dog track. I don't think we're going to track down small ones. We'll try to move forward and find them. Would you say if you wanted some duck mounts? I would say if you wanted some duck mounts, come to Louisiana, but I can't put you on ducks, unfortunately. I'm sure I also, well, I could shoot a duck out of the creek with a 22 or something, but I don't know how to do all the setup and stuff. My sister's fiance does a good bit of that, and has invited me on a couple of occasions. There was one time I was gonna go. I don't know if he got sick, or if I got sick. Something happened and canceled it, and I've not been able to get out, but I'd like to. I think it'd be a cool thing. Elm Creek, that might be. Yeah, that is it. What is Gold Crest? I'm making stuff up, I think. Richie, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the support. I don't soup. Raccoon Dog and both species of geese are the only, like, Revontuli exclusive diamonds I'm missing. Technically, we don't have a Wigeon either, but those are on Vurhonga now, and the way I look at it, one waterfowl species on a map, like, it's the only one. I don't think it's going to take too long to, like, set up and grind for one of those. Frankly, I don't think the geese will take that long either if I can just commit to it, but it's always something. It's either the bear grind or the moose grind, or, you know, trying to get the raccoon dog, because that's the thing that I think is likely to take more time. But I do feel like, of the ones remaining, if we can get the raccoon dog, the rest are just couple hours a week grind and we'll have them before long. From Farming Sim 17, honestly, if that's even a Farming Sim thing, I'd be happy I'm not completely wrong. Gold Crest is a sell point? Maybe that's what I'm getting at. Are you going to elk hunt in real life? I'd like to. I've been putting in for the PA draw. I've got preference points in Wyoming, however, hunting in Wyoming has gotten so expensive, I don't even know what to do going forward. But, yeah, one way or another. My brother went in Colorado this past year, in September, and they didn't have any luck, but they did find some elk. It was with his, like, his fiance didn't go, but it was with his fiance's, like, brothers or something, so I don't want to be like, hey, invite me, but if I get invited, I'd love to go. Rich, thank you for the super chat, super fly, I don't know. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, first time actually catching you live. Sorry I ruined your message. Damar got released from the hospital? That's wild. It's been a week since the dude literally died on the field and got revived. What a champ. Favorite great one? Model-wise and stuff, it's the moose. Like, overall, I don't know if you mean, like, a specific fur type and stuff, but moose, like, they're the perfect representation of what a great one should be in my mind. Yet, honestly, Soup, like, when it comes to goose grinding, for instance, or duck grinding, probably, too, I hate to, like, I want to shoot them out of the air as far as, like, getting the diamond one, but all the other ones, it's more efficient to let them land. It just is, which sucks, but they're so fast, and they were too slow in the past. I agree with the devs making them faster and all that. And, you know, some people don't like when I say this, but Classic just has it perfect. The balance of, like, the speed that they fly, the amount you can get per flock and stuff is just perfect, and I kind of think it's a little, if anything, a little low in Call of the Wild, which is probably surprising to hear, considering Call of the Wild is typically considered the more difficult game. Making caramel corn. I would like 12. What's happening here? Old zone. These are always the ones that are tough. When you get to a zone and then there's no tracks leaving. Going to a complete dead end. We'll go down there. There's maybe some birds or potentially raccoon dogs there, and then we'll get turned around. Does Damar play football again? He'll want to. I don't know if he'll be able to find a doctor that'll clear him. But I don't know, like, it generally would be considered like a freak accident, I think. But is there some underlying condition or something there that caused it? I guess that's maybe what's relevant. What's up, Drum and Beeper? Doing good, still trying to get over this cold or whatever the heck I have. I feel fine, like, physically, I've been sleeping a lot. Like, I know it's still taking a lot out of me to, you know, be alive every day, but, you know, I'm not, like, sore, like, I don't have that lethargic side of it. It's just the cough and stuff that's getting me. Or is it a side effect of PEDs? I guess that's possible. That would really change the narrative. You'd feel like that would get out. Were you live yesterday? No. I am, though, going to start streaming again on Sundays in just about a month. The Sunday after the Super Bowl probably is when I'll do it. Because typically, other than being sick and, you know, not going to my parents to watch football this past weekend, typically that's like a bit of a tradition, is going up there on Sundays. So, like, streaming on Sunday in football season's tough because you want to be there about 1 o'clock and it's a 30-minute drive, and then we got to worry about getting shadow and all that stuff. So it just requires an early stream. But once that side of it's no longer there, I'm hoping to do some Sunday streams, and Farming Sim's the current game of choice. Any luck today? We actually shot a diamond Eurasian teal, like, right at the start. 354 point something. 354 is diamond, so we barely made it, but we'll take a little diamond to begin with. We gotta be closing in on 1,000. I don't know what our number is. 974. We'll get there this year. How do you feel about the Seahawks making the playoffs after everyone said they're only going to win 2 games? That's a testament to the coaching staff for sure. And also to Geno Smith for allowing himself to be coached, because, like, the narrative wasn't there for no reason. He was really bad early in his career, and he figured it out. You still think the Super Bowl will be Bills and Niners? So, assuming that wildcard weekend goes as you'd expect, and Cincy beats the Ravens and the Bills beat the, who are they playing? The Dolphins? Bills-Bengals would be your divisional round matchup, and I don't know. Maybe there's the emotional side of the whole Damar Hamlin thing and they can pull it off, but it didn't look good early in the Bengals game. It looked like they were going to win that. So, we shall see. 1274 equals 974? Yeah, so when Bloodhounds came out, almost 2 years ago now, they attempted to introduce a Great One counter into your stats, and, I mean, they have since done that. Got a Great One counter. Says 20, should be 2. Basically what happened is, they were putting your diamonds into that Great One counter, they were putting your golds into the diamond counter, and so on. So, fortunately, it was maybe like, I don't know, 20 kills into that, I noticed it. I went back to a stream from the day before. Someone asked me how many diamonds did I have, and I said it out loud. So, luckily I knew what my diamond count was supposed to be. I kept track, and one of the only times ever, the developers actually made public, like, the update, the patch for this thing is going to happen on this day. So, knowing when that was going to come out, I spent the night before shooting a bunch of golds, not to inflate my diamond count, but to get it to a point where it was exactly a certain number, in this case 300, above what it was supposed to be. That way I could just easily look at it any future time someone asks how many diamonds do I have, minus 300, easy math, don't have to, you know, mess all that up. Long story short, it's a bug. Vikings won't win because the Kirk primetime curse? It's the Giants, though. They might actually be able to win a playoff game, which would be something. I don't think they're going anywhere, but, you know, they might have a shot. Sean, thank you for the super chat. Almost missed the stream because I'm at my boxing gym. Well, I appreciate you stopping in. Hope you're, if you're still boxing, is that training, potentially? If you're still doing that, hope it goes well. Kirk will beat everyone with a smirk. If Justin Jefferson has anything to say about it, they could go further. What's up, Benjamin? I think if the NFL is actually scripted, then the Bills will definitely win the Super Bowl. Having all these injuries and still winning it all is a great story. Yeah, I'm very much not in the camp of NFL being scripted, but it would be hard for them to win it after this season and not at least have that in the back of your mind, like a franchise that has lost 4 straight at one point could just never quite get it. If this would be the year they won it, you'd have to, like, that would cross your mind. Good thing I can't shoot geese. Is Layton difficult for beginners? I see the more open maps and spotting animals seems to be way easier. I would argue that Layton's fairly open, to be honest. Like, if you're in the right spots. I don't know that it's great for beginners, because you do have a lot of big game. You've got moose and elk, bears, but you've got whitetail all over Balmont, really all over the entire map at this point. I don't think it's bad. It's got missions that are designed for early game stuff, like Layton and Hirschfeld both. Because they were the first 2 maps in the game, the missions were made with the idea that you're going to be starting off with nothing. So they're good missions to do to earn money and progress that way. I would say that's true, Caleb, but I also wouldn't underestimate the Chiefs. They had, I forget, it was like 8 seconds left, something like that, on like the 1 yard line last year in the championship game, and instead of kicking a field goal, they went for it, didn't get it, and ultimately they ended up having to kick a field goal to tie, whereas instead they'd have just won the game with that. What diamonds do you still need? Raccoon dog and both species of geese. We're looking for raccoon dogs now. We have yet to see one, but we caught a diamond teal, so can't complain. Do you play Call of Duty? I have not played a Call of Duty game since Black Ops, maybe? Been a while. Angle's bad, but we got one. Favorite gun for the New England Mountains as far as like loadout stuff goes? You've got moose, so you do want something kind of big, but it's tough because you got a lot of small game species, so carrying a shotgun's a good idea. For me, I go with the 7mm pretty often, and it works well. Honestly, Graham, for me, it was just like a lot of time put in and shooting as many as I could. I also struggled. I got a lot of ptarmigan diamonds, but like black grouse, hazel grouse, that took me a long time. And I would shoot every one I would find. Every single time I'd get a max weight track. The only max weight hazel grouse that I got was a diamond, but you know, heavy tracks and stuff, track him down, shoot him, get the respawns. I didn't really have much of a strategy. I spent a lot of time for them, like up in here, and there's a fair few of them. It's kind of open. That certainly helps. You got a lot less flying through the trees to deal with, but I do feel like I actually found more in the trees. Hey, nice Space Cowboy, congrats. Best gun for SRP. So that's you only need 2 guns on that map. You can get away with the 7mm and the 22. And because of that, you can carry some extra guns that could be like for more specifics. So I'd go 300 and have that for bison, elk, and black bear. And then for your pronghorn and stuff like that, whatever your choice of medium gun is, whether that's the 7mm or the 30-06, whatever you tend to prefer. Honestly, Jaguar, like, I didn't see it happening. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it. When they got to... When did they lose... What was the record? It was like week 14, it was to Baltimore. Whatever the record was after that loss, I thought that was officially it. I thought they were going to lose at least one more game. But around that time, it started to feel possible. A lot of their opponents in the second half of the season weren't as good, so that was certainly a part of it, but, you know, they played a lot better too. I'd say they earned that record. What's up, Timothy? Tomlin's a good coach, not if he has Steeler fans, dude. I can't stand it. They live streamed today's Tomlin press conference, and the amount of people calling for him to be fired after he just had a 7-2 turnaround is wild with a rookie quarterback. And, like, not good run defense, which you can argue is partially his fault. He's supposed to be the defensive guy, but their pass defense was their strength. Their inability to stop the run was a problem. What shotgun? This is the 16 gauge from Rancho. If you buy Rancho, the map DLC, you'll have access to the gun. Ungrateful fans, yeah, I think people just expect Super Bowl every year. And to look at Tomlin's lack of Super Bowls as a indication of how good he is as a coach, like, he's coaching at the primes of Peyton Manning and Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady when he was in the AFC. Josh Allen, like, there's more quarterback talent in the AFC than there's ever been. It's tough to win a playoff game. If I were to start a channel, how would I get the word out about it without social media? Without any social media? Because there are ways, for sure, without, like, what you might call, like, standard social media, Twitter, Facebook, stuff like that. You know, community forums and things are good for stuff like that. Discords, those types of things would be a good way. But I didn't really use social media to grow my channel at the beginning at all. It was just sort of a little bit of, I don't know, being active in places like that. The Hunter forums when I just did the Hunter Classic content. Those sorts of places, and you don't want to be the, hey, check out my channel guy. Just, you know, if you make a video, maybe post it in the appropriate place for people to post their videos and stuff like that. Not a lot of people respond well to, I need subs. But if you post a video that looks interesting, people will respond well to that. I feel that, Graham. A lot of things that I planned on doing went out the window when we got Shadow, but I guess she's cute enough, it's worth it. That's a joke, by the way. Of course she is. What is the fastest way to make money now? Fallow Deer or Red Deer on Tawaroa. It's so good on that map. There's so many. You can make a ton of money in relatively short order. Haven't hunted Revontuli in so long? Yeah, same here, and it traded us to a diamond just about first thing. There's a good one. Opinions on Tua. I think Tua's, he's got the talent to be, like, elite game manager. I never see Tua as, like, a Mahomes or a Josh Allen, like, put the team on his back. But if a good team is put around him, which he had this year up until, you know, he got knocked unconscious, he can get them places. What's up, Polaris? Found out I got accepted to my dream college in Alaska. Just wanted to say thanks for the banger content, and hopefully I'll be able to do some IRL Yukon hunting soon. There you go. Congrats, man. Hope all that goes well, including the IRL hunting plans there. I imagine it's... Would you be a resident? How does that work? If you... Because I didn't do this. If you move states or whatever, even temporarily for college, can you become a resident of the place just by living in, say, a dorm or whatever? I don't know if Alaska colleges have dorms. I imagine they would. Because I'm thinking hunting as a resident in Alaska would be far easier. Just downloaded Farming Sim 22. Any tips? Buy a fertilizer spreader, like a decent one. You can get one that... I don't know what my model is, unfortunately, but you can get one fairly cheap that has a really good distance that it'll spread fertilizer over, and just do fertilizer contracts. They take no time at all. you do have to pay for your own fertilizer and stuff if you do it this way, but you can get so many done. That's how I've made money starting out. I just got sheep recently, so when we get to do farming sim streams on Twitch in about a month, at least we'll have something to take care of. Alaskan natives up here have no hunting regulations? Yeah, natives don't, but like, non-native residents, I guess is what I mean. Just got here, what have I missed? We shot a diamond Eurasian teal. Off the water, nothing special, it was just sitting there. But we had a diamond teal already. And that's been about it. The raccoon dogs are absolutely avoiding us so far today, but I think we're getting into sort of better area to hunt them now. Favorite animal in the game besides whitetail? Model-wise and stuff? Pronghorn and mountain goat are kind of tied. I think both of them, the devs did a really good job. As far as like what I enjoy hunting, I like wolves just because every time they attack, if you can survive it, especially because they're so unpredictable. Sometimes they just all sprint at you for seemingly no reason. Buy John Deere, that's good advice, I like it. Later, Easton. Non-natives are referred to as colonizers? Alright. Been wanting to hunt up here, but every time I'm up, I almost never see animals. Really? I would not have guessed that, but I suppose it depends on where you're at. Which is crazy because moose and bear are everywhere. That would have been my guess. Just came back from the last weekend of Georgia deer season. Didn't get lucky with the deer, but I did get a 135-pound boar to put some sausage in the freezer. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. We, on a couple of different occasions have looked at, like, potentially hunting in Georgia, and just we haven't done it. Georgia's a perfect sort of, or let me say it this way. Georgia fits into the category of the perfect additional state to hunt for me, because this past season, I hunted in West Virginia for a week and in Tennessee for a week. I would not remove the West Virginia hunt from my schedule for anything. I loved hunting down there. Will and I have become such good friends that I would say, like, initially because of that, I thought those were ducks, because of, like we were chatting in Discord and stuff all the time, but starting in 2021, we actually got to meet to hunt and all that. So all that's been an absolute blast. But having 2 out-of-state hunts during the PA season, West Virginia and Tennessee, that was a little much. I felt like I missed more of the PA season than I'd like to. I just love, like, chasing the same deer all year and apparently just never killing it. The bladed 9 got away yet again. Walked underneath the stand that I wasn't in, 60 yards away this year. Was great. Before I get too far away here, Sean, thank you for the super chat. Can I get a solid Finland? Finland! How's that? Anyway, to get back on track with the Georgia thing, their season opens earlier and then runs longer, as you just talked about. That would be the perfect thing for me, like, go archery hunt in September somewhere, whether it's Georgia or another state. That's the type of thing I want to get into, maybe starting this year or somewhere in there. Finland Siri? What? We just got back from the Grand Canyon. It was snowing like crazy. Was it snowing like at the Grand Canyon? Or were you at the Grand Canyon when it was snowing? Because that would probably make for some pretty cool photos. Is this Revontuli Coast? Yes. Yeah, Carson, that would be a legit rare now. The sound alert for Twitch. I do need to make that Siri thing a sound alert. I'm ashamed of myself for not having done that yet. Love it? Alright, good. There he is. Great one moose. Level 2. Trotting away. What DLC map to buy? So if you didn't know, you can play any map that you don't own in multiplayer, so long as someone in the server owns the DLC. if you join a server and say the only person that actually owns the DLC leaves, you have 15 minutes and then that server closes down. So what I would do if I were you is just start joining multiplayer servers for all maps and figure out which one you like and buy that one. Nice. That accidental weapon switch away from the 243 was a little unfortunate when he was broadside, but probably would have missed anyway. How's the grind today? We're taking a little break from the moose grind, although I did record a video for it for tomorrow. As for this hunt here on Revontuli Coast, we got ourselves a diamond Eurasian teal, which is not one of the 3 remaining diamonds that we needed, but not gonna complain. I like it. I'm a big fan of the teal. Both the green wing teal and the Eurasian teal look quite nice. What loadout? So today we have the 16 gauge. I just grabbed the 308 because I was lazy, didn't feel like customizing another weapon. 243 handgun and the 22. By the way, the 16 gauge is Revontuli Coast camo, even though you can barely tell. I don't have it on the barrel because I didn't like it. Forgive me, I don't manage to catch each stream, but you are not using herd management. No, I'm not. It worries me what it would do to my future enjoyment of the game if I were to do it. I thought those were Wigeon. There's always the chance, even though I did say I'm gonna try to get the diamond Wigeon on Vurhonga. If a level 3 flies over, I mean, we'd take it. I can't wait to not hit this one either. Well, I tried. Is this the... Yeah, we have a setup down here. Is Yukon good for moose? Yes. You don't want to buy 2 maps. Are you talking about grinding moose or just like generally hunting moose? The problem with grinding moose on Yukon is there's that huge river on the east side, and that's just a ton of real estate to cover when grinding for anything. That amount of shoreline for drink zones. But in the center of the map, like in the Crimson Plain, whatever they call it, and the swamp and stuff, is fantastic for moose at those lakes. You could probably kinda, sorta ignore the river largely in the east, but you still gotta check it on occasion. Or you should anyway. I missed that both times. Yikes. How life? Life's good. How about for you? This is why I love your playstyle. You're gonna shoot and be excited about any diamond you come across. And I think the moment that kind of goes away, that would be when I'd start to look for another game or something. It's the same with real life hunting. Like, if I ever shoot a doe, and just think like, well, there's that, probably time to move on to something else. Like, I don't know how many, I did the math. I think I've shot 32 deer, $9, so what, 23 does? Every single one. You still get like the shakes and stuff, or I still do. That's how it's supposed to work, and that's how it's supposed to work, I think, in game for any diamond. Now that doesn't mean, like, say with the level 3 duck that we just found, I didn't, you know, have a heart attack, but it was like, oh, cool, a level 3. I'm excited to shoot that. I've only had one. Do you herd manage in real life? Well, given the fact that I didn't shoot a very big buck this year, I guess not. I would have said generally, yes. I have tried going back to 2018 or thereabouts. I've tried to get better at, like, only shooting at least 3-year-old deer, but like I said, shot a 2.5-year-old buck this year. It was certainly a unique circumstance, but even still, I done did it. Biggest deer in real life? So the year before last, 2021, I shot a 180-inch 14 point, which, fair chance nothing like that ever happens again, but it could. still get buck fever after every shot, and that's the best thing, right? In the moment, shaking and stuff is always gonna be a part of it, but if you can, you know, channel your focus and stuff enough to make the shot and then worry about shaking like a leaf afterwards, that's probably the ideal. How long do deer live in real life? Depends on the area and stuff, but a lot of times, like, the average peak age for, like, a wild whitetail is about 8 years. That's not, like, the average age they all live to. I'd say the average, like, in PA is probably 3 years old, because somebody gets shot, even earlier than that. But typically, like, what's considered a really old buck is about 8 years old. They don't usually outlive that in the wild. Are geese being on Yukon realistic? I think. As far as I know. What's your best call? The wild kill? Best? I guess it depends on, like, the definition, but maybe... I kind of look at the 1,000 coyote back in the day through a little bit of a different lens, because quick kill was still a thing, so the perfect shot had to be made. And that's not easy to do on something that small. Like, it's a lot easier to, I think, mess up a diamond coyote than the albino diamond moose that I had. So, I guess, by that logic, I'd go with the coyote. There were run tracks from another one. It was 4 to 6 kilo. I don't see it. What did they... Was it green wing teal they got, Graham? I'm glad they added something, but they could have thrown mallards on there easily. It seems like they could have done more. What if I missed? A diamond Eurasian teal, Dylan. How's the geese diamonds going? We've not got to do much goose hunting as of late, so I guess not going that well, but I feel like I've got a good spot. I just need to spend some time there. Snakehead, thank you for the super chat. As far as I know, most people in Alaska hunt near the road system, but that only covers 20% of the state. So there's a large area people can't get to unless they have a boat or plane. That, when people ask about my dream hunt, and I'll always answer caribou in Alaska, that's what I'd love to do. Like, one of those float planes, you know, spend, I don't know, 2 weeks ideally, just on one particular hunt. It feels like that would be like the hunt of a lifetime kind of thing. I probably wouldn't get to have another experience like that. I just think that'd be really cool. Mallards, or, you know, if they wanted to do a new species like wood duck or something, could have fit. If only we were on Twitch, I'd make that gun so ugly. I just, in that video for tomorrow, I'm going to include the piebald moose, and I'm not going to even include any live audio from the stream, because I spent the entire time just describing why I had such a horrid looking gun. That was literally toy gun vibes. Caribou migrates so far so fast. Good luck with a 2-week hunt. Do I need more than 2 weeks? Like I said, this is the type of thing where I wouldn't expect... I'm not 100% sure I'll ever do it. I certainly wouldn't expect to do it twice, so I'd want to make sure I set aside the appropriate amount of time and everything that would be needed. Do you have a favorite site in Call of the Wild and in real life? Not so much in real life. Any halfway decent scope I tend to seem to perform the same with. Now on my hunting rifle, my 7mm Mod 8, I've got a Vortex. I don't remember the exact model, unfortunately, right now, but it's a 4 to 12 power with, like, the, not mill dots, but the mill lines. Would you call it that? And I have not shot a deer that I didn't hit in the heart with that yet. Why does that one look weird? Why is that weird? Why are you weird? Nope, not that. I feel like I haven't seen this one before. I'm just gonna... maybe save that. Something looks odd about it. I feel like dark brown's a common fur type, but I don't know. Sean, thank you for the super chat. Trade diamonds for venison soup I posted in Discord? Yes. I'll give you 12 diamonds per bowl. It looks wet. Yeah, like it looked like his fur wasn't as long as the rest, and the first thing I thought of was piebald moose. All the piebald moose have that long fur, and I feel like every mountain hare I've ever seen had longer fur. I'm not too bad, Brandon. How about you? How many maps have you done all the missions for? Well, I guess other than Mississippi and Revontuli, every map that doesn't have side missions, I've done like the stories for. Never did the Revontuli story, and never did the Mississippi story. Medved has side missions, Quattro does. I'm trying to remember when they stopped doing side missions. And then actually here with New England, they started again, which I think is good. But I have almost all done on Hirschfeld, and Leighton there's a few that I never did, I believe. Maybe I did all the Leighton ones. Couple of maps, though, for sure that I haven't done them on. That looks like Wigeon to me. You guys want to just have a level 3 and make my life easy? Just shot a 453 reindeer, nice. Should I get the pistol pack? If you carry a lot of loadouts where you find that you can't quite fit all the inventory you'd like, and if you often carry something like the... That's an orange, isn't it? I think that's a rare. Anyway, if you carry the 243 a lot, this is, for my money, just as good as the 243 rifle, and it takes up way less space. I'm pretty sure that's a rare. That looks different to me. I think they stopped side missions on Tay. I think it was even before that. I'm gonna look stupid if this is just a light brown, but I don't know. I feel like I'd be able to recognize one. That is an orange. Cool. That's the first rare raccoon dog we've had from this grind. I'd call it like a mini grind. It's not been like a legit try to grind for a diamond or rare, just kill everyone we see, but ultimately that's what a grind is. That's actually pretty cool. I guess that angle's not too bad. We can tax that for sure. Revontuli's just been sitting here like, hey, I've got all these cool things for you. Why haven't you visited me? Funky little animals? I'm kind of glad we don't have them here. I feel like, I don't know, to me they're in that, like, fisher category. They're just, I've only ever seen one while hunting, and it was the first day of archery this past year. I just imagine raccoon dogs would be, like, super slippery, really rare to see, and just vicious little animals. Unintentional grind? Yeah, essentially, right? Because the only reason we're grinding for one is we've not been fortunate enough to have a diamond spawn yet. Those are a Wigeon, I hear it. Unbroken Wigeon, can't spot him. Too cute to shoot. Hello. Speaking of cute things, bear trying to run us over. Thank you, Toxic. I don't think we're gonna live stream the wedding, you never know. Gotta pay for that scenic view somehow. Do you have a dog? Yes, we have a Border Collie Blue Heeler mix. She is an absolute handful, but she definitely makes everyday life more enjoyable. Just as much as, I don't know what her deal is. I don't think is that she's a small dog and can't go all night without being left outside. I think she just likes to get up and go outside. So she'll get me up twice in the night, and it's not like, hey, go back to bed. It's, alright, you're gonna pee on the floor if I don't take you outside. Anyway, as much as getting up 2 or 3 times in the night to take her outside can be really annoying, it's the, like, going about my daily life sort of things and turning around and Shadow's like right there following me, just like, all right, Dad, where are we going? Just makes my day. I asked Kyla last stream, she said no. We're gonna make a deal with the venue. Completely free, and we're gonna live stream it for publicity. There always is bottom boy, whether it's even like a red fox and stuff, but I think they're a little more common. Things like fishers or bobcats and stuff. It's this feeling of like, I'm not supposed to be here. Does that make sense? Like, those things are so hyper aware of everything around, and when they don't know you're there, it's almost just like, am I in the wrong place? Like, should I be here right now? When I saw that fisher on the first day of archery, and I couldn't get it on film, I believe it was raining and I just wanted to be out. I had my rain cover over the camera, and I heard it, and I should have known better, because what I heard sounded just like Shadow trotting through the leaves. And I thought, that's funny. What would do that? And then right underneath my stand, perfect to film, had I had the camera ready. And then out in front of me, and it was just like, was I supposed to see that? That's such a good way to say it. It's weird, like, it's hard to describe exactly how that feeling is, but it's... You just know how smart those things are. Exactly. It's an accomplishment for sure. I feel like the PC version has more animals than console version. I've heard that a lot, but I've played on consoles as well, and I don't get that impression. I think sometimes, like in a live stream setting and stuff, it can be made to feel that way. A lot of it, though, is because, at least when I'm streaming, a lot of times I barely care what I shoot. Like, if there's something in front of me, we'll go for it. Streams for me rarely are like a super let's focus on one thing type of thing. I like to just hang out and chat and shoot stuff in the game. What's your favorite Great One animal, as in like just species? Moose for sure. What rifle would you use IRL hunting for whitetail? So I use a 7mm8. It's a Weatherby Vanguard. Bought it in early 2020. In 2020, I filled all my doe tags with a bow and never got an opportunity to buck. So I didn't kill any deer with it that year. Then in 2021, Kyla killed a deer with that gun before I did. She got her doe. A week later, I got my buck. Both of those deer dropped. This year in 2022, I shot 3 does and a buck with it. The first doe sort of like dropped, got back to his feet, and then was down 15 seconds later. The second doe was sort of the same thing. It ran about 40 yards. Third doe ran 80 yards, but it was down in sight. And then the buck ran like 30 yards. I haven't tracked the deer with that gun yet. I posted a pic, where did that go, of my dad's caribou we shot in Yukon last year, just for you to see how large they can get. In IRL hunting and fishing in my Discord, I'm guessing. You should make more IRL hunting content. We've got a whole year's worth coming here fairly soon. I think as soon as TK's Africa videos are done, which I don't know how many he has. I think we're going to get into real life hunting from last year. So it's going to start with turkey season. That should only be one video. Then I think there's a chance, because I mentioned earlier my brother went on an elk hunt. He had cameras and stuff, but I truly have no idea how much footage is there, if there's an episode's worth or not. I'll have to ask him. And then after that will be West Virginia, getting into archery hunting in PA in 2022, and so on. Sean, think of the super chat Hawaii map. Okay, so axis deer. I think they have wild hogs, right? Black buck? That might be incorrect. I like the idea, but I don't know if there's enough, like, unique species. Then again, we got New England. It didn't really have any. Maybe they could do it. I wouldn't mind another map with axes. You know how they could do it? You know how they can make it unique? Do them in velvet. And if there's a couple of other unique species, I'd like that. Old Cabela's games. We did a number of like old Cabela's games playthroughs, and a number of them did velvet antlers. Now, that doesn't mean they did them necessarily well, but they did do them, and I would like to think Call of the Wild could accomplish it. Isn't Jurassic Park in Hawaii? It was filmed there, right? How you get so close running is crazy. I only have to look at my console and everything spooks. So there's maybe 2 factors that could help you. I don't know if you wear backpacks or not. I would definitely not wear a backpack. They make a ton of unnecessary noise. Did I claim that links? I didn't even know where it was. Had to be maybe up there. I don't think I did claim it. Anyway, don't wear backpacks. And if you don't have these skill points, tier 2 soft feet, reducing the noise generated when moving through certain types of foliage, I would definitely get those. They seem to help. They should put badgers in Call of the Wild. I kind of like him in Way the Hunter. I'd be for that. We're just gonna do a little elimination here. Still think we need a prehistoric DLC with mammoths and such. The thing that's like, there's obviously other games out there that do that, but we all know Call of the Wild has the capability to make really good like models and gameplay for something like that. It would be a lot of fun. Got the skills, not the talent. I don't know if there's anything else to it that may make them... That's creepy. I don't know if there's anything else to it that may make animals less likely to spook while you're running, but I do get that question fairly often, and as far as I know, I'm not doing anything unique. It's just those combination of skill points and obviously not wearing a backpack. Axis deer, mouflon, 3 types of sheep. I forgot about turkeys, goats, hogs. I think it could work. It would be nice, like, if they were going to do, and maybe it could just be a jump-off point, but if they were going to do a map with, you know, velvet antlers, I would like multiple deer species just to really kind of sell it, but if they started with axis deer, they could maybe go further. Snakehead, think of the super chat, Hawaii could be a second blacktail map? Like Colombian blacktail? I didn't know that. Great one, fallow coming next, you never know. Yeah, Kyler's afraid it's going to be too easy, and to be honest, if their drink time isn't adjusted, they are so easy to hunt on Te Awaroa. It would probably... I don't even know about probably. It would be the most easy to get great one, provided that the likelihood of a great one actually spawning remains the same. Like, say it's the same level of likelihood as whitetail. They're easier to hunt than whitetail for sure. Nice, Dead Taco. What handgun are you using and how do you get it? So this is the 243 pistol. It's a part of the... What do they call that? Not handgun pack. I forget the name of it. Will my Steam show me? Assorted sidearms pack is what they call it. So there's this. There is a 45, kind of like Old West cowboy gun, to simplify that. And there's also a Glock. I find the other 2 guns are good, but they're more novelty. This 243 may be better than the rifle. Wild chickens and Hawaiian geese. I don't think I want to hunt wild chickens, but I'm not gonna lie, if they put them on the map, I'd shoot them, so maybe that would be fun. Why shouldn't you wear a backpack? I thought it gave you more space. Tell you what, can we fast travel? I don't really want to go all the way back here. the basic reason is they just have a bunch of additional noise. So, if you were to compare, just like running within a certain distance of an animal, you would spook an animal while running at about 150, 160 meters with no backpack. It's over 200 meters with a backpack on. It just causes a ton of extra noise that spooks animals. The extra space is nice, but I really don't think you need it. In 2023 Call of the Wild, there are so many super lightweight weapons. You can craft a loadout for any map, even without like pack mule perks, or the skill I think it is. Need a yak on Yukon? Wait, isn't a yak like a farmed animal? Or do you mean a muskox? Feral goats on Hawaii? The best way to do feral goats, I feel like, would be a unique horn variation, because the one we have on Tay is great, but give us something that's going to be different. You know, that one kind of looked like an orange fur type too, but I think it was light brown. You're a yak? No, you. Yaks are domesticated? I thought so. There are wild yaks, but they're in Mongolia and northern China. Literally the only thing I know about Mongolia is from that Alone survival show. Maybe they weren't allowed to hunt the yaks, because I don't remember them being pursued as a game species. First time on the stream, load the vids. Thank you, man. Appreciate you stopping in. Hopefully this can continue to be a good one. We've got a rare raccoon dog today and a diamond Eurasian teal so far. Yeah, Marco, you get an inline muzzleloader. Now you may wonder why you've not seen much use of that inline muzzleloader, like on potentially any YouTube or stream content you've seen. And that's because it's just not that good. The cap lock muzzleloaders from... What was that from? Were they their own DLC? I actually can't remember when they became a thing, but regardless, however cap lock muzzleloaders got introduced into the game, they're far better than the inline. Smoking barrels? Oh, that's right. It was a part of the M1 and the 10 gauge shotgun. Got my great one from 200 meters with the inline. Ooh, that's... You are braver than I. I would not have even tried it. Any level 3s? It would just, you know, take a lot of potential time spent on Vurhonga away if we could get a diamond Wigeon here. Like that speedy boy. No hope. I felt like a couple of those shots were close. Whatever happened to the tree stands and tripods? I never see them being used. I use tripods on occasion for moose grinding. I think the biggest reason, at least for me, like you won't see me using them as much anymore. The last two great ones, black bear and moose, other than a few and far between spots, you don't get enough moose or bear in one spot that you need a tripod to reduce the hunting pressure. So I don't use them as much, but like if I were to grind red deer again, or especially whitetail again, tripods are definitely a must in those types of grinds. Are you Creo talking Vurhonga? What now? There are black buck in Hawaii. I'm kind of proud of myself, not gonna lie. An ibex? What kind of ibex? I'm assuming it's not one of the types that we already have, and probably also not alpine. Are you crap talking Vurhonga? No. I want to hunt my diamond Wigeon on Vurhonga, but it's a diamond we're missing, so the less time I have to put into getting that, the more that can go into other grinds. Did you say great one black bear? Yes. What is the best gun pack to get? It depends on what you hunt. Weapon pack 1 just for the 22 Virant that I've missed a million shots with today is great. But if you don't care as much about shooting like ducks or rabbits and stuff, particularly from a distance, then I would definitely say it's the modern rifles pack with the 308. I do think the 22 firing is invaluable though. So if you don't have that yet, the unfortunate thing is the other two weapons in that pack are the recurve bow and the crossbow. The crossbow is great as bows go, but it's just the way Call of the Wild's designed. It's really not made to reward you for bow hunting in any way, shape, or form. So typically gun hunting is just the way to go. I saw that fella running right at us. Where'd he go? What shotgun are you using and where can I buy it? This is the 16 gauge. It's just from Rancho. If you have the Rancho DLC, there are 2 variations available immediately, and another variation you can get through the missions. Now, of course, variations of weapons are less relevant now since you can just customize your own, but there's still parts of those types of things that are unique, like engravings and stuff. They should add swimming. Yeah, or like an inflatable raft to carry around, something to be able to cross big bodies of water. It would be one of the unrealistic things about swimming, and it's like that line of like, it's a game, just make it fun, don't get too serious about making it realistic, but, you know, if you had a backpack full of 4 guns and calls and binoculars, you wouldn't just dive in the lake and go swimming. But, again, you know, it's a game. I want to cross the water. Let me swim. I also am not wearing a backpack. So, unless I've got 3 long guns and a handgun strapped to my back, then I don't know exactly how this is working anyway. Been watching you for 4.5 years now. That's a long time. We're coming up on... I can't believe this is the case. But we're coming up on 8 years on YouTube this May. Just wild. Any tips for me to get a Great One red deer? I struggled with the red deer, but I did ultimately end up doing like a how to get a Great One red deer guide. A bunch of people were asking for that one, so if you want to check that out, it's in around the channel. It would be almost a year old. It's gonna be last March. Angler speedboats to Call of the Wild. There you go. Speaking of the angler, I don't know exactly when I'm going to get back to that. The way in which they handled legendaries made me sad, so I don't know. I was really excited to fish for them, and then they're not special. Have you played Strand of the Deep? No, I can't remember. How did that miss? I saw somebody play it, whether it was like Jacksepticeye or Markiplier. This is years ago, like a lot of years ago. And it seemed like a fun game, but I'd never end up buying it. The angler disappointed you? Generally, the most recent update had left me encouraged. But the handling of the legendaries just kinda sucks. I don't even know, I guess I'll explain it. I was gonna not, because I thought maybe it would keep them more mysterious, but now I'll explain it. So, as far as I know, the location of the legendaries changes like once a week or month or something. But once literally anybody finds the location of one of those legendaries, they can post it online somewhere, wherever in the Discord, and everyone can go to that location and catch the legendary. It just... And it's on top of the water, you can see it. I feel like a legendary fish should be never visible from the surface. And should have a couple of requirements. I think the simplest thing would be like, you have to have tackle that would be capable of catching it. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless that it could even spawn. And then it should just be like a super unlikely spawn when your lure hits the water. Got a Great One whitetail, and now I see a guaranteed diamond albino. Solid luck. I don't know, Polaris. Maybe. I'm going to get back to it at some stage. The biggest hurdle is things like the Moose Great One grind and stuff that, unfortunately, are kind of taking precedence. I don't know, Bottom Boy. This one looks funny too. Maybe they changed them a little bit? No, wrong button. It doesn't look quite like the other one. Doesn't quite look wet. The sheer clout of being the first to find that week's legendary, but it's the same legendaries. That's the problem. It's whatever they call it, Big Lenny the Catfish. Is it Big Mouth Billy Bass? I don't remember for that one. And then a lake trout. I don't know its name. They rotate locations, but it's not like new legendaries. Remember when you were always saying yeet? I'm sure there was a stage. Just got my great one moose watching your stream. Nice. I must be good luck. If only that luck worked for me. Congrats, man. What fur type? Or rack, potentially, if it's not a fur type. I remember you telling me about that Bottom Boy, but I can't remember exactly how bad it was. I know with my buck, we got into like a couple. For like 2 days, I would still be getting them off me, but it was like one at a time. I feel like you had several hundred at one time. What's up, Hatcha? Once you hook him, you start singing "Don't Worry, Be Happy." We had one of those as a kid, and I want one just for the nostalgia factor. The one we had sang 2 songs. It was that and Take Me to the River, I think. Ooh. Do we track a max weight lynx? Can we track a max weight lynx? That's not the oldest track. Oh, maybe down there? Maybe that's him right there. Oh, imagine that. Guaranteed diamond, okay. Let's find somewhere to get him. What's going on, Jordan? Good to see you, man. Thank you for renewing your membership. I appreciate it. Get anything good? We've had a diamond Eurasian teal, an orange female raccoon dog. Now this. I need him to, like, slow down. I don't want to shoot him on the move, necessarily, but I hate tracking lynx. So I might shoot him on the move. They're the same as Bobcat. There's just something about them. They have a tendency to just make it annoying. I don't like the angle. I would do it on any other lynx, but the rocks being uneven and stuff, the chance of him sort of bouncing up and down. Wind is terrible too, so we're likely to take this shot on the move if we get him broadside. Lynx is a paid actor. He literally did run right by us. This is one of, and I don't worry about species that aren't unique to Revontuli, but this is one of the species we've never had a diamond of on this map. We had one in early access, but of course that progress didn't count and ripped to that awesome mellow that we had. I don't like that he keeps changing direction. It's freaking me out. I guess we'll keep following. My toxic trait is I'd pull the trigger there and shoot it in the guts. With a lot of things, I would have pulled the trigger there too. It's the high estimate that kept me from doing it. 28 minimum's pretty big. How do you feel about the Virant 22LR versus the AR version? I like the AR version better in every way except... For one, I don't get why they made it a 5-round capacity. That seems unnecessarily low. But the main thing is, the Virant has that ability to shoot near an animal and alert that animal without spooking it. The AR version can't do that. Oh, he is? Oh, he's right there. Okay. It's a good spot. Of course, he's going to turn the other way. But we have a little bit of a potential to line up and on the move shot if we're going to go for that. You are my favorite YouTuber. Thank you. I'm way too trigger happy. I think I've gotten more trigger happy over the years, like with shots like this. But like I said, it's the high estimate that gets me with this one. Like, and lynx are weird too. See how much higher his hips are than his front shoulders? something about the way I align shots has to do with looking at the rear end of the animal and like picking my angle, and it messes with me. Cool. Not gonna lie, it was a little nerve-wracking to do that, but we're not here to chase lynx after all. Good time to come in? Yeah, just out here dropping a guaranteed diamond lynx. The question is he going to be up towards max score? I think max is 29 flat. Big smoked. Oh! We are not allowed to kill max score animals in this game. Max weight 28.98. Little far back. Back in lungs, it was still... No, it wasn't double lung. Single lung, liver, and stomach. Can we get a big male? Holy... cross-eyed looking lynx. Always. That's the biggest one we've ever killed, which funny enough, that had been the case with the early access one too. It was 28.7 or 8. Wild. Our first time in Mexican Bobcat on Rancho was also max weight and something like this, 28.9 and change. Max score animals don't exist. So close. It feels like it happens. What is that? Is that another lynx? Or is that an albino thing? Or it's just a thick, common raccoon dog, I guess. I think we hit it. Anyway, it feels like it happens more than once a month. Like a max weight animal that's not max score. You're the only person who can kill such a monster trophy and still be like, almost. It's just been a trend for forever. Like, going way back to the old scoring system. I've had so many max weight animals and rarely do we crack max score. And I guess probably that's the case for more people than it appears to be, but you see max scores posted in the community all the time. And it makes it feel that way. Now I want to hunt Revontuli. That's 3 today, man. We've had a diamond Eurasian teal. We had a orange fur type raccoon dog, which is also a rare. And now we had a diamond lynx at a max weight one at that. Did that shot not hit? I wouldn't be upset. Like, I wouldn't mind getting the full score on this because it is a max weight estimate one. Do you have any great ones? We have a great one whitetail. I had like the 3rd great one whitetail ever. And then a great one red deer. Beanbagger, thank you for the super chat. We're going to try to make that shot real quick. They need to add more waterfowl. More waterfowl even. I'm assuming that is a specific kind, like wood ducks, pintail. I like the pintail idea. Blue-winged teal, gadwall. I never heard of a bufflehead or a merganser. Canvasbacks, black ducks. I'd say generally, like, they've started to embrace the small game and waterfowl thing a little bit more, but it would be nice to have some species like that. I think at some stage, and we need, frankly, a little break from North America maps, but a Revontuli mirror in North America, with a bunch of waterfowl and stuff, would be a good idea. And that would be the type of map that could have the species you're talking about. I like it. Shades of the 7 diamond stream? A little bit. We still have 40 minutes. You never know what's going to come after this. Time for another class 9 animal. And with that, can we get a class 8 to 9 rifle? It's wild to me we don't have something like that. Or even just another class 9 rifle. Sad to say, but the 470 sucks. Like, it's not good. Where has this fella gotten to? That would be sad to lose the first max weight estimate raccoon dog we've seen in a while. I mean, he's a 7. We know what he is, but... just don't know where he went. Probably in large part due to all these tracks. That's the type of thing, like, when there's a ton of tracks in an area, sometimes something you're tracking just doesn't leave additional tracks. Which, in this case, that's our fault for not hitting it, I guess. 700 Nitro Express? Hey, something. Give me something with a scope, though. Like, I know game balance is a thing, and you gotta make sure that you don't introduce a weapon or any, like, piece of equipment into a game that completely throws off the balance, but I think we're well beyond the point of a scope on a Class 9 weapon being something that would break the balance. I mean, we have a 308 AR-10. We have a number of, I mean, even just the 300 and the 338 and stuff. Things that can cover Class 9 anyway with a scope. I don't think a Class 9 specific weapon with a scope would hurt. Random water sound for a minute there. That was weird. Name of the pistol? It's the 243 Cuomo, I think? Competitor? From the Assorted Sidearms DLC. I feel like tracks will get overwritten by other tracks if animals run through after the one you've highlighted. That would make sense, based on the system they seem to have. And I'm mostly basing it off the way Classic works, but I imagine it's a very similar system. Essentially, at some stage, tracks get old enough they just disappear. And that would align with kind of like what you're saying there, too. I thought that was going to be the one. The level 7. Killing a bunch of them today. I'm happy with that. 416 Rigby or 375 H&H. I do want a 375. I feel like that's the perfect Class 8 to 9 rifle, like as far as the caliber goes. Seem like a little bit of an uncommon opinion, but I'd love to see a new map focused on new big game rather than small game like the last two. I'm definitely all for big game. I'm 100% with you. I do think the game generally was lacking small game for a long time, so it's not such a bad thing to add a bunch more, but at some stage, some more new big game would be good. T-Rected, thank you for the super chat. Give me 1 second. Don't normally spend money on streamers, but you've helped me a lot with your tutorials for this game. Also, what do you think of an animal pack for... Ooh, I like it. An animal pack for North America instead of a new North America map. That'll be one way to do it. I'll even expand on that a little bit, because the way I always thought that something like that should be approached would be an eventual... I can't say these two words back to back. Texas Exotic Ranch. I have a real hard time enunciating that. But, because you can throw almost anything in it. So any animals they have potentially missed, they could just chuck on a Texas map and call it good. That'd be another way, though. I like the animal pack idea. Doll sheep to Yukon. I still think it's too late for cows deer to Rancho because they have whitetail. What are some other ones? We just talked about this recently. Some, like, kind of animals we're missing in North America. Closing my eyes, wake me up if a great one shows up. I imagine I'd be vocal enough for an alarm. What time are we hunting the raccoon dogs? Currently in game, it is 11:21. What's it cost to become a member? I think it's $4.99. It's the same as a Twitch sub. I would say, by the way, YouTube memberships do make you stand out in the comments too. So if you comment a lot or something like that, that would be something to consider. But I do think because Twitch has a direct connection with Discord. So if you're subscribed on Twitch, the emotes that we have on Twitch, and Twitch just gives you more space for emotes as a partner. You can use, in my server specifically, any of the Twitch emotes without having Discord Nitro. Now, you can't use the emotes across other servers, but that is a little extra perk that being a Twitch sub would get you over being a YouTube member. Dallas sheep? Yeah, I was gonna be mean to Cowboys fans, but they got in the playoffs and the Steelers didn't, so never mind. Where are we at on the map? Oh, we're just getting into the southwest corner here. This is a good spot for a lot of things. Ptarmigan, as one's calling over there. Raccoon dog, you get some moose down in here, brown bear. One of those things too, if you run for some distance and potentially spook things, a lot of stuff kind of gathers in this corner. Where could they add Marco Polo sheep? You'd have to be somewhere in Asia, which I'd be all in for that. I remember my first couple streams, I was like, dang, I'm never going to get red. Then I became a member and started getting creative with the emotes. The rest is history. I'll never forget that one classic stream. It was in hunting season. It was the reason I did it. I think I shot a deer that day. Or the day before or something. And I didn't get a video done, so I just streamed instead. And you had just recently become a member, and I read like a lot of your messages, because we were having like a hunting-related conversation. And somebody was like, I can't get red, he only reads Bottom Boy's messages, he's the favorite. I was like, oh jeez. I didn't mean it, man. The membership badge, it's not like... I genuinely don't see a membership badge or a moderator tag or anything and think, oh, gotta read that one. They're paying money to get red or anything. I don't look at it that way at all. I literally glance over, and the first thing that catches my eye, I read. And those badges and stuff make your name stand out, so it does work. Kazakhstan map, would that have Marco Polo sheep? I'm guessing it would. Tom Brady's 7-0 in his career against the Cowboys, so their season's probably going to end the same way it started. I just can't see, I really can't see it. Tampa's so bad. They're really not good. If not for the Saints, Rams, and Cardinals all completely folding with like double-digit leads, the Bucks are like 5-12. And I know like the other side of them folding with double-digit leads is Brady making the comeback, but I don't know. It just seemed like to blow a double-digit lead, you have to mess up a lot, and it just happened over and over. You're saying that actually chatting insightful things will help you get red? Just a little bit. You'd never guess it. Some of the emote combinations are too good? What emote combos? It'd be a good game though? I'm guessing, like this is the other side of the whole the Bucks are terrible thing. Brady's played in like, what, 40 playoff games or something. And even though he is 90 years old, he probably can channel that, like, killer instinct thing that he has, and he'll probably play really well at some stage, but I think they're going to start slow. So if Dallas can actually capitalize on opportunities, they're going to make it unreachable. What are you doing, you creep? Why are you standing like that? It scared me. I'm a mod and he ignores my messages sometimes. You can just yell it out, though. That honestly surprises me, Bottom Boy. Because there's been... And I know that as an AFC player for most of his career, he would have only played them every 4 years at max. But there's been a fair number of times since 2000 that the Cowboys were at least, you know, playoff worthy or whatever, to never have ended up beating Tom Brady-led teams. Wild. Their inner Brock Purdy. Honestly, I don't think he's necessarily going to be like the next all-time great or whatever, but even if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, if he gets them, say, on the doorstep in the NFC Championship and they fall short for whatever reason, I can't imagine that he's not going to get a real chance with somebody next year. He's played well. Do I think Brady will go another season? Now I do. Given the divorce situation and stuff, I just feel like what more is there to pull him away? I also think he wasn't retiring to begin with. I think he was just done with the Bucks. And then he got roped back into it because, I guess that would have been Brian Flores' lawsuit? What started that? Isn't that what forced him to come back because he didn't get out like he wanted to? Yeah. That was this year. That seems insane. As fast as 2022 went, that was how the year started. The week of the Super Bowl, I think, Brian Flores filed that lawsuit. As a Cowboys fan, I can even agree Dak kind of sucks. I don't even know how to rank Dak. How do we get back down here? Like, for some reason, he can play so well, but then he sort of has the Tony Romo gene, I guess, where he kind of makes a horribly timed play to, you know, lose to the Jags, for instance. I didn't watch that Jags game. I don't know if it was his fault they got into the situation where they were in overtime or not, but that certainly doesn't help. Gonna throw Cooper Rush back in. Andy Dalton Jr. Good but inconsistent. I'd be seriously considering Cooper Rush for the playoffs. I think the problem with that, though, is, like, they were able to win a bunch of games, but that was a lot of good coaching and, like, relying on things not really related to Cooper Rush making a play. Which they have the team to do a lot of that, but you're not beating, say, the Niners by your quarterback managing the game. You're going to have to make some plays. Because they are too good, and their defense is too good to just, you know, play a running style. If you throw the ball 18 times against the Niners, you're probably going to run for, I don't know, maybe 100 yards. I just don't think that's enough. 181 high rack whitetail, nice. The pack with the atomic shotguns? I'm thinking maybe that was meant to say automatic. Do you mean this one? Because it's just pump action. If that is what you mean, it's part of the Rancho DLC. If you maybe mean the 20 gauge automatic ones, that's the, or semi-automatic. What's the name of that? It's not Wild Goose Chase, that's the duck one. Duck and cover is what it is. Same here, Graham. My 200 I thought was kind of a high rack. I forget. It's not like this super high rack, but it was sort of tall. The 20 gauges, yeah, it's the duck and cover DLC. Finally a weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Holy. And diamonds too, in fact. Two that we unfortunately are not specifically after. But, no complaints. Had a max weight diamond links, not max score. It missed max score by 0.02, which crushed me just a little bit. And then we had a diamond duration teal, like our third kill in the hunt. We also had an orange fur type female raccoon dog. That is a rare. I don't know if it's as rare as, say, like an albino or whatever, but our first kind of trophy raccoon dog of any kind on this map, so that was good. Do you know what map is best for the whitetail grind? I feel like probably this map, Revontuli. Rancho's still good, and Layton is maybe better than it once was, but there's whitetail all over Layton. And the difference between a map like this and Layton, even though there's so much water, it's still localized. Layton's got long stretches. Even though these lakes are big, they're still just lakes. It still limits the amount of shoreline you gotta hunt. Where did that question go? I swear I saw something I wanted to answer. Oh, it wasn't a question. I feel bad for people listening that don't care about football. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I enjoy talking about it. I try not to make the streams about that, even though it was one of the first questions I answered today. I typically won't be the one to introduce it. I'll wait for somebody to ask about it, but as soon as someone does, it's off to the races. They feel much more rare? Blacktail? Yeah, I haven't hunted for them much on Layton since the changes. They drink it at night now, and they're still in a lot of the same places, but wherever they go during the daylight, I don't see them just out feeding or whatever. Opinion on the Saints. Boy, I don't know. I feel like they're missing a lot. Michael Thomas might be gone. They need... I don't think Jameis Winston is it. I don't think Andy Dalton's it. I don't think Taysom Hill's it. So they need a quarterback. Their defense, like... Some of their stars are getting up there. Cam Jordan was drafted the same year as Cam Hayward, and Cam Hayward's got a gray beard. So... They don't have a ton of time left. I think there's a rebuild kind of process that needs to happen there, but you can see how fast things can turn around. How do you feel about the Dolphins being the wild card? If Tua can play, I think they're probably the best of the possible 7 seeds. I don't think the Pats were getting anywhere. I would have loved for the Steelers again, but I don't think they were going to beat the Bills. I think the Dolphins will play them the best, again, if Tua's healthy. But if he's not, I feel like the game's just not going to even be entertaining. I feel like it's what makes you, you though. Like, if you don't like hunting, why come to a hunting stream? If you don't like football, you might not enjoy a Flinter August through February stream. True. I definitely don't shy away from talking about things that I enjoy talking about. It's the same as, when we get into, like, hunting ethics debates and stuff. I love talking about stuff like that because I learn so much. Like, it's never just, at least I hope it doesn't come across this way, of like me preaching to the choir as far, or not preaching to the choir, that ain't it. Me on a pedestal preaching about how it's supposed to work or whatever. It's like a conversation, learning back and forth stuff. Preaching to the choir is the opposite. Exactly, Clark. And I don't know if they will be. I think Tyreek... I think I read Tyreek and Jalen Waddle were hurt, right? And who knows with Tua. But they have beaten the Bills, and they played them tough the second time. Nice, Graham. Won't make Wednesday night working nights, but hopefully I'll be back soon. Sounds good, man. Hope you have a good day and a good week and a good however long till we meet in a stream chat sometime again. No, I 100% agree, Clark. I don't... If he's medically cleared to play and he's fine, then, like, I'm all for it. But rushing back for a playoff game when you've been concussed 3 times isn't good. I'm in the minority, Sean, but I like pineapple on pizza. I think it's good. Got a gold cinnamon level 7 black bear. How rare is that? I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about that. I thought that cinnamon black bears were rare. I was told that they weren't, but like based on my black bear grind for a great one, I shot 5,000 black bear, and maybe 12 were cinnamon. That's what, 1 in 300 or less. I feel like that's a rare, but maybe that technically wouldn't be. What's a good... Well, heck, with moose, I've shot 5 or 6 piebalds in like 700 kills. That would make, with those stats, and I know the sample size isn't as big, that would make piebald moose seemingly more rare, or more common rather, than a cinnamon black bear. So I don't know. Why did you become a YouTuber? I don't know. I know that's gonna sound funny, but like, I didn't set out to become one, if that makes sense. I always wanted to, you know, share gaming moments and stuff. I always thought, like, some of the early gaming-centered YouTube channels, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, guys like that, sharing's, like, some of the wild and cool stuff that can happen, like, while you're recording a game. That always appealed to me. But when I first started doing it, like, it wasn't to make it my job or anything. It just sort of reached that point. There was a time when I decided to go for it to try to make it my job. That was when I kind of felt like college wasn't for me and started to lean towards dropping out. And I decided to just like go all in on YouTube for 6 months and see if it would lead anywhere, and it did. So I guess if I have like a why, it's because that's what I enjoy doing, is like creating something new every day with making a video or a stream or whatever, and sharing cool moments. Your PC graphics make my PS4 look like I'm playing on a potato. I don't think console graphics look that bad, at least in this game. But to be honest, I don't even have the game on Ultra. I need a better graphics card at some stage. And that'll come eventually. But it's not my highest priority right now, because the game looks good on high settings too. I've had a harder time running Farming Sim than this game, which is wild. Say my name! My name. I did it. Thoughts onto his possible retirement? I'd hate it for him, but you know, it's not quite as severe, but it's right up there close to like the kind of thing Damar Hamlin dealt with. Like, it's having that many concussions in like what, 2 months? One was like late September, maybe early October, and they're saying that wasn't a concussion, but let's be honest, sure looked like a concussion. Then a few weeks later in Cincy, and what was it, 5 games? So at most, like 9 weeks. 10 weeks, something like that. 2.5 months or something to have 3 concussions is not good. Classic joke, it's because it was all caps, I promise. When Rancho first came out, the first Bobcat I shot was 0.1 away from max score. I almost cried because it was my 3rd diamond I ever got. Ironically enough, my 3rd diamond was also my best one by then. That was my first max score. If you get a super rare, does it appear in the mission trophy lodge? Like, if you were to shoot, say, an albino diamond mountain lion? Is that your question? I actually don't know. Are you talking about the parkade? That's the only mission trophy lodge I can think of. I think the gray at least showed. I thought somebody killed a diamond gray and that showed up properly in the lodge, but I can't remember. Because he was hit too hard. Oh my. My football coach's favorite team is the Steelers? Mine too. I feel like if he being your football coach, can somewhat coach like Tomlin, he'll be in a good position. Yeah, that's what I don't understand either, Bottom Boy. Like, the first one against Buffalo, there's nothing there for you to think like, oh, that's gonna hurt, until he stands up and starts wobbling all around. And then the Cincy one, you could see it coming before he even got thrown down, because that was like, what, his 2nd game back? Or something like that? Or no, wait. He wasn't even out yet. This is 4 days after the first one. Never mind. As he's like getting thrown down, it's like, oh no. This is bad. And nobody even caught the one against Green Bay until way later. And the story was, Tua couldn't remember why he made decisions on the plays, and then they had him evaluated. Like, none of it's a good look. Is the shooting range closed up? Which one? I'm happy to hear that, Jake. I'm glad the videos and stuff could help. Do you post Farming Sim vids? I have not ever posted a Farming Sim vid. I did... I guess this would have been maybe in 2019 sometime, when Farming Simulator 19 came out. I did a good bit of streams for that game. I've not streamed Farming Sim 22 yet. I'm planning on, in just about a month, doing some Sunday streams in Farming Sim, just kind of, you know, relaxing, doing some farming. Probably a little less, what's the word, structured than these streams, so there may not be like a 2-hour thing. It may just be, sometimes it might be an hour, sometimes it might be more than 2 hours, and just probably, you know, screwing around, trying to make progress in that game. Depending on the reception to that, I may do some Farming Sim videos. I'd like to. I feel like I could do it. My biggest concern is, I feel like if I do farming sim content, I'm gonna have a hard time making it unique. Like, I've seen some of Daggerwin's content. He's probably the biggest farming sim creator. And before ever watching one of his videos, I had heard from friends, like, sort of how he makes his content. And it's exactly how I would make content in the game. So I would want to come up with a way to make it different, and I don't know how I would do that. Like, I'm really not sure what you do beyond, I'm going to do this now, and then sort of time-lapse doing it. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that's his style. Maybe that's just the farming sim content style as a whole. Would it be starting one from scratch? I don't know. Maybe. I think if it got enough attention, maybe I would do like some sort of unique starting from scratch one. Like, I wouldn't do the exact same thing over again. Maybe on a modded map with, and by modded map I just mean a map that's not the same one. And I don't know. Somehow try to make it a separate type of like challenge as far as the getting started aspect goes. I might. It's a great way to pass the time, Jaguar. That's actually, in a weird way, my problem with it. It passes too much time. Like, the amount I'd like to play it is... It uses up some of my, like, recording time and stuff. I get that into it. Have you considered backpack hunting in real life? Definitely, it's something I'd like to do. It's tough, though. The biggest challenge is something like that where you're signing up for potentially like a week, 10 days, 2 weeks. In my position, like, I then have to spend the 2 weeks prior to it getting like all the videos prepped and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, I'm not like complaining about that, but it's a huge time investment to do that. And then I gotta worry about the logistics of like, okay, who's watching Shadow? You know, how am I gonna be able to make sure that everything's taken care of YouTube channel wise, like posting videos and all that kind of stuff if I have no service. There's a lot of logistics that go into it, I guess, that I would need to solve, but at some stage it's the type of hunt I'd want to do. Eventually too, I don't know when it'll be. This might be years down the line. But there will come a time when, maybe in hunting season or something, when there's too much leading up to it, and I'll probably do like videos every other day for a week or two, like during a hunt, or a hunt, or like rifle season in PA or something like that. So that's an option to alleviate some of the stress, I guess, that goes into it. Do I have anything to say about the people bashing T. Higgins for the Damar incident? It depends on who it is, because I think... Not who it is, but it depends on, like, their perspective. I think a lot of people were just, like, traumatized and were looking for someone to blame because it felt so, like... I think everybody felt helpless watching it. So, a lot of it I don't even think is coming from a bad place. For those that are blaming him from some sort of bad place, that would probably recommend getting a hobby or something. Is that exactly what it is, Clark? Is it not so much location as it is, like, timing of the heart's rhythm? Because I didn't know that. Have you been wakeboarding? I have not. I imagine you could probably do that in a lake too, but I've never been to an ocean of any kind, so that severely limits the amount of water type activities I could do. It's so hard to say something in chat that's still relevant when you get done typing. Yeah, I understand that, especially since I will tend to ramble for several minutes at a time before getting to the next chat. I'm sure I don't make it easy. Have you been, waterboarding? I don't know. How old are you? 25. Every time that number goes up, it makes me wonder, like, you know, is there a point at which I'll be not as relevant in, like, a gaming scene? But then you see, like, some of the most successful creators. Tipsy is a great example. I don't know how old he is, but he's well beyond my age and absolutely killing it, so I hope to be able, I aspire to have that kind of vibe and still go on with streams and stuff. Zach, thank you for the super chat. I just want to say I've honestly watched most of your videos and they've helped me out. In the game I'm on the Whiteo grind right now, got 3 piebald bucks, 130 kills. That's awesome, man. Congrats. And I'm glad the videos and stuff have been helpful. That's always the goal at the end of the day. Never been around water of any kind, just took a cruise not too long ago, though. It's just, it's a land cruise. Where's the 357 subscriber video? Ooh, I didn't think of that. Are we at 357? We are, right? Yeah. It probably won't be tomorrow because I've already done a moose thing, but maybe we can do that for Wednesday. I'm gonna end up pushing the classic video back again, but I'm in a weird, like, I don't know what to do with classic yet. Like, I want to get back into elk hunting, but this whole, like, being sick thing, and I don't know how much you can hear the fact that I'm still a little bit, like, congested and stuff. Maybe you can't, actually. But that holds me back from doing, like, a potential 3-hour hunting classic a little bit. It's just harder to do when you're sick and everything. But, I don't mind as much pushing classic back for stuff like that. $350 rem mag and weight 100 for 350k. We did do that. I missed. What did I miss recently? Not the 350. I know what it was. We could have done a 340 hunt in classic for 340k. Completely missed that. It never crossed my mind. Gotta feed bottom child. Sounds good, man. Appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully, you have a good evening. I don't know if you're watching the national championship or not, but maybe, bottom child can don a chocha hat or something. Favorite gun in the game? Probably this one at the moment. I really do like the 308. That said, picking the semi-automatic, you know, in theory, best gun in the game is a little bit of a cop-out, but it's that good. What's up, Six Savage? I'm doing good, man. How about you? I have some monies on it. I like it. Not a bad move. 7 mil or $7? I don't understand the question. 7 is closer to 12, so 7. What is your biggest raccoon in Call of the Wild? 12.9 or something. I think that was a max weight, not max score animal as well. COVID. Yes. I missed the context. What have I missed? We've had quite the hunt today. We shot a diamond Eurasian teal early on. Then we shot an orange fur type, I think it was a level 3 female raccoon dog, so that's a rare. Then we shot a max weight, almost max score diamond lynx. Been pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was gonna be a long shot, but it'll get him. Not anymore Jaguar, you have to get the vitals on them too. I have chili. I'm sorry to hear you're cold down there in Florida, but I'm sure you'll be able to manage. Is the assorted sidearms pack worth it? I would say the biggest... Where is this thing? There it is. I would say the biggest, like, role that it can fill is if you find a lot of your loadouts, like, you can't quite fit as many items in it as you'd like. you know, maybe consistently your 4th weapon, you're having to remove some ammo or remove some collars or something like that. The 243 handgun, in my mind, it's just as good as the 243 rifle. It fills that position really well, so that's probably where it's best. But if you don't really have the loadout strugs, the other handguns are just kind of like novelty. They're fun to hunt with, and they're good, but they don't have the potential to replace another weapon in your loadout. Like, they're not that good. Killed a mellow level 5 Gray Fox? Nice! I think I missed the GTA thing, but whenever the next GTA game comes out, I'm sure I'd like to play something like that. But I thought that was a piebald. It looked weird. As far as like GTA 5 goes, for me, Clark, that is the thing. You kind of, at least in online, it's sort of a non-stop being annoyed by somebody game. What map would you like to see in the future? I don't know what else you could do in terms of North America maps, which is definitely where I have the best kind of just like understanding of what types of species and stuff could be there. As for anything else though, like, I just want to see another map based in Africa, to be honest. I think Vurhonga has been so popular for so long, it's surprising to me that we've never gotten another one. Just because everybody likes Vurhonga so much. I thought we hit that, did we not? Well, rip to that one. We'll claim these two, then we're going to jump back to the lodge real quick. Got trolled by Legendary Coyote this morning? That's annoying. Exactly, Clark. Honestly, and I didn't play that much, but I was playing at the time that the hover bike was released. That was about the end of the fun for me. Because I couldn't afford one. I didn't have that much money in the game at the time. I probably never achieved enough money to be able to get one of them. And it was just, it felt like it was always, anytime you tried to do anything, walk around the corner of a building, just getting smoked. Was it hover bike or rocket bike? Whatever they were. Getting smoked by one of them nonstop. Game ruiner? Yeah, 100%. I don't know, these things keep looking light in color to me and then freaking me out. Rocket bike? Yeah, that sounds more right. I don't know what. They did hover, so maybe that's where I'm getting the idea. Alright, off to the lodge. We have 2 main lodge editions, which we probably haven't done in the same hunt, other than maybe on a brand new map in a long time. I got the money, but I hated the bike so much I never bought one. That's reasonable. That was the end of the game, and yet, to this day, they're still releasing content. Keeping that sucker afloat. Favorite animal to hunt in the game? Gray wolves, actually. Not. Funny enough, it's not when I'm actually hunting them, it's when they find me when I'm hunting other things. Alright, so back here, we've got a couple of cinnamon teal that I really no longer wish to display, so we shall replace one of them with the Eurasian teal. Same plumage type, same score, 1 day apart. We'll go with that one. Just look how much. And I thought the cinnamon teal, when they came out, were incredible. Like, just the prettiest ducks of the 2 that we had, I think, at the time. The difference is pretty stunning. Alright, then we only have 1 available spot for a lynx, and it's going to be taking down an old diamond lynx, but get one that much bigger, I'd say it's worth it. This room, I think. A lot of trophies in that lodge. We're coming up on 3 full years of hunting for it. whenever Scoring System 2.0 came out, I think it was 2020 in February when Water Buffalo got their True Racks. That's when we made this new lodge. Everything in here is shot after that. Anything we shot prior to that is in a different lodge. Okay, so we gotta remember a date here. November 6th of 2020 is when we shot this piebald link, so it's most likely when we made that multi-map. So we need to do that. Then November, come on, there we go. November 2020. Somewhere in here? I don't even know what it's called. Play fighting? Yeah. Okay, so we can dismantle that. Now we don't need to remember dates. We'll do a new one. I think it said 28.98. It's even 28.979, so was a ways from being max score, but still an improvement. What was the last one? Now I can't create it again, so I can't look. Oh well. An improvement, which we'll take. I actually had the first pose, and then just turned. Does taxidermy cost money in Call of the Wild? Yes. It's not much, comparatively. Like, taxing a smaller animal costs less than taxing a big animal, but, like, say for a deer, if you shoot, like, 4 deer, it'll pay for the taxidermy. Need a sorting system? Boy, do we ever. That's one of the, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been talking about doing a Trophy Lodge stream for like over a year. And what I mean by that is just, not even this lodge, just the one main lodge. Taking everything down, hitting go live, and just chatting and redoing it, because I want to set everything up in a different way. One of the things preventing me from doing that, or even two things. Number one, this, let me just find a random thing. This delete feature doesn't work for me. Every time I delete a trophy, it just comes back when I restart the game. And because I can't sort anything, it would just take forever to do that type of stream, so I've never done it. Do you remember what it was like without lodges? Yeah, you know, largely the same, but you cared more about taking photos of your trophy either before you killed it or before you hit claim. I like to look at them. Those are nice. I would like another one. Anyway, I think that's pretty much going to do it. Revontuli welcomed us back. We didn't get any new trophies, but 3 in the same stream? I feel like that's pretty unheard of these days. Like, we don't have super common diamonds like access to your Black Buck like we did on the 7 Diamond Parquet stream. So, that worked out pretty well. That was one of our better hunts in a long time. Anyway, that's going to do it for this stream. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support today. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video right back on the Moose Grind on Red Tiger. Bye!